Hello everyone. We'll be starting our live session on scholarship and admission in Korea in a while. If you are hearing, kindly share it on your walls and around. So we are waiting for some audience to build up, so that I'm gonna start it. So we're gonna start it in a while. Kindly share it into different groups and your wall as well, so that we can have an interactive session. So just a few more minutes and then we will be starting it. So let's start it. Today I'm going to talk about how to get into the South Korean universities and how to contact with professors and universities and how to apply for the visa and all those requirements, how to secure scholarships here, like it's one of the world's leading university we are having with over here, and they're offering a lot of scholarships and you can do miracles over here. So first of all, we should talk about why South Korea. So South Korea is one of the most developed countries on this planet. Like we put them into the same category, just as like Japan. Japan and South Korea are technologically the most advanced countries on this planet. They're having the fastest transport system. They're having the world's leading universities. They are having the fastest internet. So their infrastructure is very developed. So a lot of positive. And the other point, the very important, right? It's a mosaic of, like, a lot of people come here. It's a mosaic of different culture. A lot of people come here, and you have a chance to interact with more than 100, like people from 100 countries. You can interact with them at a time. Seoul is so much international. So secondly, now how to achieve scholarship. There are two ways to get into any country. There are like two different ways to get into a country for education purposes. Like whenever if you want to go to Korea, if you want to go to Japan, if you want to go to UK, US, anywhere. One is self-finance, but that's really easy. You just go into the website, university website, and you follow their guideline, and a lot of time they themselves guide you to secure answers. Self-finance is really easy, but to go to a country or to a university and secure a scholarship based financially, when they support you, it's really difficult, and it's a lot of time. It's really confusing for a lot of people. It's really hard actually to get into this, primarily because of people. A lot of people, they don't have the confidence in themselves. Secondly, they lose hope. So losing hope and self-confidence, these two factors contribute towards it a lot. So I'm going to talk about number one, self-confidence. If you, like, there are thousands of people which are not their IQ level is not that good. They are not performing really good in their universities and grades. Still, they outclass the intellectual people, the intelligent people, the geniuses. They outclass them in that in those points. That is because they have the self-confidence in themselves. You have to build confidence in yourself so that you can stay strong and firm in achieving something. So that is the primary thing. Secondary, they don't have that patience. Patience is really important. Like, you have to wait for the right time and the right circumstances and the right, like, when we talk about the KGSP or the Fulbright scholarship, it's once a year, and you have to wait to follow the process for one whole year. So it requires a lot of patience, confidence, patience, and then you have to follow it up. Like, for a very long time, you have to follow up a lot of things, preparing the documents, application, procedure, and a lot of things from the professor will be like, sometime a lot of professors are very annoying. You have to keep patience, I can say that. So 2 ways. One is self-financed, the other is financially aided procedure. So let's talk about Korea. Korea, you can get into the Korean universities in the 2 ways. Like, one is self-financed, the other is financially aided. So financially aided, I'm going to talk about financially aided, or if they provide you support or scholarship. I'm going to talk about that, because the other part is really easy. Just you go to the website and follow up their procedure. A lot of time they gets back to you and they guide you throughout the throughout the application process. They will be guiding you a lot of time. So first of all, Korea is having you have 2 different ways of securing scholarship here in Korea. One is the KGSP, Korean Government Scholarship Program. The other is independent procedure. You just go to professorship or fellowship or whatever you call it, but you independently contact a professor and he gets back to you, and he whatever the procedure is, you follow it after that. So primarily I will talk about the KGSP, Korean Government Scholarship Program. So each year from around the world, more than 300, if I'm not wrong, more than 300 people, young students, undergraduate and graduate people, they come over here, and they experience the Korean culture, and the Korean government pay to them for their studies, and they enjoy it over here. For Pakistan, each country is having their own quota in that program. Like I will be focusing on Pakistani students, Pakistani people. So for Pakistan, we are having round about 16 seats over here. Among them, further, if you go subdivide that KGSP, you can apply through your embassy or a university. So 10 to 11 seats are through embassy, and the rest are independently. You go to university and you come by the university sake. So KGSP, you can secure a KGSP scholarship in 2 ways. Number one, through embassy. It opens around in the last week of January, probably, and it ends up at the first week of May. So you have around 2 months of time to apply for it. Not 2 months, sorry, 3 months So you have a 3 months time frame to apply for it, prepare your document, and follow the procedure. Then after that, it takes like 2 to 3 months in full process, and you get it like till June you are finalized. Then the other track is university track. Through university track you have to you have to contact a university, to be more specifically a professor, and you tell him about your skills, your CGPA, your research work and everything. Then he recommends you to the university. You get a letter from him. He recommends you to the university, and university alternately recommend you to the KGSP. So it's a whole like track of more than 4 or 5 months procedure, and you have to follow it also. Again, patience is important over here. But once you get a scholarship, they pay you the round ticket, they pay you settlement allowance, they pay you for one year almost to learn Korean, free travel in Korea. Then you have the tuition, they pay for your tuition fees, and then they give you the lodging and everything. So it's like you get a lot of money in that case, and a lot of incentives in KGSP. Let's talk about the Korean, how expensive it is, like in terms of tuition fees, how much you have to pay. If you come on self-finance basis, you have to pay around $20,000 a month. This is the least amount I have seen. This is the least amount until it goes up to $60,000 a semester is the tuition fee, and you have to spend like $1,000, round about $1,000 for your living and food and everything. So it's quite expensive. So you must try to get into the university. So you should do it. You should find it like you should go for the scholarships. Secondly, I was KGSP part. A lot of other people have discussed it in the previous talks. I'm not talking about that in the detail, how to get through the KGSP scholarship. I will be talking about the professorship or the fellowships. So fellowships, it's really easy. You can, if you are lucky, if you have skills, if your communication skills and everything are really good, you can get in just 1 month into a Korean university. There are a lot of university, they have 2 sessions. A lot of them they are having 3 sessions. So 3 times they get students into their university. So it's really easy if you have the guts, the real confidence in yourself, and the real if you can follow up that. From now I'll be talking about how to find a professor. Like the actual part is finding a professor. It's really, for a lot of people, they just spam the professors' mailboxes with a lot of stupid emails and queries. So please kindly avoid that. I will be showing you how to write an effective email to the professor and motivation lecture, how your CV should be, what are the other requirements for that. So number 1, finding a scholarship. Number 1, choosing your university and your field of study. Number 2, finding a scholarship. Number 3, following up the application procedure for the university, like getting admission in the university. So it's starting with the scholarship, finding a scholarship, how you will find a professor. You have to shortlist a few universities and then your specific department, and then go there and search for the professors' email addresses and their research labs. You just simply go to Google, write the list of Korean university. You will find a lot of them. So some of the top university as KAIST, Seoul National University, then you are having Ulsan University, then you are having Asan Medical Center, you are having the University of Science and Technology, and a lot of other universities. So they are the top ranking universities in the world, top 20 maybe. So you can find them, and over there you have to go into the specific departments, and like if you are a medical student, you go to the medical department and find your lab of interest or the lab which is specifically relevant to your previous research. So you go over there, you just find it, you go to the website of the laboratory, the professor's laboratory, and you just see what kind of what is the scope of that laboratory and what they are doing, to be very specific. Read a few research papers of the professor. So you have to note it down. Go to the university website, go to the lab's website, read the scope of the laboratory. Number 4, read a few research papers. They are usually available on the lab website. So just download a few papers and read it. You don't need to go into the depth of those papers, those research. Just simply read the abstracts, and if like somebody asks you a question about their lab scope and the research of the which is being carried out in the lab, you can just simply answer that. So it's really easy. Go read a few abstracts, find and try to find a research project, one of the recent research projects or research publications, shortlist it, and try to make up like a story. You know about it and you are interested in it, and so on. So now it's time to open your Gmail. Go there, write to the professor. Number 1, 3 paragraphs, not too lengthy. It's really simple. Do not copy paste. A lot of people go and copy paste. This is not the way. So if you really want to catch the eye of your professor, you just read it very short. Read it by yourself. It's because if you copy paste, it's someone else's story. If you try to write it yourself, it's your story. And believe me, your English doesn't matter. Your English skill doesn't matter. Don't be like, don't lose hope, or don't be shy in writing your own words, writing your own self. Try whatever you can do it, whatever or however you can do it. Just write it. Give it to someone who can proofread it for you, remove the grammatical mistakes, and the vocabulary is not important. You should be technical, and that's all about the technical. There should be 3 short paragraphs. Number 1, introduction, your introduction and why you are interested in the lab. Number 1, who are you? The first paragraph should be who are you, what you have done, and why you are writing this email. 3 lines maybe. 3 lines or 4 lines. So it should be a short paragraph. You are introducing yourself. Second paragraph is you know about the research, you studied the lab, you got it from somewhere, and you are interested. You read one of the research article of the professor, and you're interested in the work and everything like that. So it should be like 4 or 5 lines. Then after that, lastly, give your proposal or tell the professor that you have done this previously in other lab or something like. So summarize all these things in 3 paragraphs. It's really simple. Number 1, introduction and why you are writing this email. Number 2, why you are interested in this lab. Number 3, what you have done previously. 3 simple rules. After that, there are few important things related to emails. Do not write, if you are writing to one professor in the same lab, do not try to write to another professor in the same lab or in the same institute. Like if you are a biology student and you have chosen like a genomics lab or anatomy lab, so anatomy department, do not try to spam the emails of all the professors in the same lab. Like pick one university, email to one professor at a time, because they discuss your. So if you tell one professor that you are interested in this field and your research, the other professor, you tell him the same story, you are interested in yours. So they sit together and they say, what the hell is going on? Like he's interested in your professor, in your research, in my research, the other research. So 3 people sit together and they say, how we are not interested. So they trash your email somewhere. So it's really important. You have to be like very specific and very selective. Choose one professor at a time from the same lab, send it to him. Go to another university, same department, one professor each. So you maximum 3 emails from 3 different to professors from 3 different universities, 3 different departments. So that's all about the email part. Then once you probably like after struggle of, if you are really good, you will get the response of the email. If you are not good, like if you are shy or your previous academic record is not good, your researcher track is not good, so you have to wait and check your luck. Hardly it will take 3 months. So starting in October for the spring semester. For sure you will get into the spring semester here. If you are applying for the fall semester, start it from April or April, May, whatever you consider like you should have this confidence in yourself. So try the luck. Again, now it's time. Once you get the response from the professor, you should. The professor will guide you further in the day. So a lot of times the professor asks you for your CV. So it's better to attach it with the, and then your motivation letter, maybe you can attach SOP motivation letter as statement of purpose. So a lot of time, a lot of people have already talked about how to write SOP, how to write motivation letter. So I'm not talking about that. I will definitely talk about the CV. So CV is the only document that defines you. If I'm interested in your work, I'll be going to see what you have done, where you have studied, what you have done, and what is your age. Age is really important. So a lot of professors check for the age, and so you have to clearly mention each and everything: your achievements, your academic profile, your extracurricular activities profile, then your distinctions for sure. They're gonna see each and every. So each portion should be where is a personal profile, then you have the experience section, then you have the academic profile, you have distinction, and you provide, like you tell them if you can provide references of whatever you want. So CV should be really systematic and errorless. There should be no error in your CV. It defines your personality. Like if you cannot write a CV perfectly for yourself, how you would carry research projects in my lab. So again, it's really important. It's really very important. There should be no errors in your email. Grammatical error. I'm talking about grammatical error. And do not mention what you cannot do or what you haven't done. Like, don't be jack of all trade. You should be master of just one field or just one type of. So what you can do, just tell them. Do not lie, because they know they are similar human being as you have faced in your school or whatever. So they get back to you. They ask you to read their research article. They will give you the research article. They will tell you to review it, summarize it, give me your idea, and all you have to do. So there's a follow-up process. You can carry it out. However, the professor will guide you further. Then again, admission. After that, the second step is the professor will tell you about the minor details of what the benefits of the scholarship will, like how he's gonna pay you or how he's gonna support you. So he will tell you he will be paying your dormitory fee or residential or settling allowance, or whether he will be paying you for your logistics and whatever. So he will give you the details. The other step is admission. So there are two sessions, fall and usually two, but a lot of university are having three as well. Some of the university their admissions are open throughout the year. So, but to be very specific, usually the deadline is in December for the spring semester. The deadline is in June for the fall semester. So you should be careful about that. The professor will guide you after he accepts you as a student of his lab. Okay, so admission form, again, the university will be demanding a lot of crazy documents. So you should not be panic. They will be asking you for the notarized, all your academic notarized document. Don't need to attest them at that time from the HEC or embassies or whatever. You just need to notarize it from a notary republic. They will be asking for IELTS score. So by that time you should have IELTS score. Once your professor accepts you, it's better to have it before applying, before writing email to the professor. You should have the IELTS score or TOEFLs or whatever you can have. So at that time you should have this. If you don't have it, tell your professor that you can provide it within a month or 2 months or whatever, however you can do it. So IELTS score they will be demanding. Then there will be another thing which will be panicking you a lot. That is the bank statement. So discuss it with your professor. The bank statement is like 1,500,000 Pakistani rupees or $15,000 minimum. So for a lot of families, for a lot of people, it's really difficult to manage. It's really hard for them to manage such huge amount. It's just don't be panic about it. It's just a letter from your bank or a statement of your transactions, telling you that you have telling about you that you are having this much amount in your bank, or you have been involved in these transactions, and your account, you can support yourself if the professor stops you funding. So it's basically like you have $15,000 in your bank, and it's you don't need a block account, or it's just borrow the money from someone, put it in the bank, and take out the statement or the letter from your bank, and then withdraw the money, and you can go ahead, give it back to the people you have borrowed from. Or the other way is talk to your professor. He might be influential in the university. He can reduce it, or he can do something for you. So it's just be very frank with your professor. Whatever your problem, whatever you have, what are your problems, just tell it to the professor, and he will guide you in that case. Like if you have problem in filling up the application form, just tell it to your professor. If you are having problem with your IELTS score or something, tell it to your professor. He can like keep you on a hold phase. Like they will give you information for 2 months. You have to provide within the 2 months. After coming here, you can provide with them the IELTS score, or you can give it from your country, and then you can do it. So just write it to your professor. And usually professors are really nice humans, but if you ask stupid question, don't ask stupid questions. So if you ask stupid question, they're gonna dump you out. So be careful. Don't ask stupid question about anything, not only research but all the other. So ask relevant and to the point. Like be nice to them, they will be nice to you. So I think that's all for this. We have motivation letter. They will okay, so there are very few universities which will be asking for your Korean score, like Korean language proficiency score, topic or something. So there are hardly a few universities they will be asking for you. That I think you should not apply to those universities, because getting a topic score is really hard, for especially if you are outside Korea. You cannot learn it that fluently and that easily. So try to convince them on your IELTS score. And the good thing is, a lot of university don't even know, they don't even need the IELTS score or topic score, English proficiency as well. So it's your luck where you are applying and your choice. The last thing is visa. Visa is like you can get your visa within a week or within 3 days if you have complete and proper documents. For the visa application, you don't need the bank statement. For visa application, you have to attest all your academic documents from your respective boards, and HEC, Higher Education Commission, or other authority. They do not accept notarized documents, so be careful about that. Then the last thing is, you need to attest your documents from after attesting it from your higher education authority or whatever the respective authority is. You have to go to a foreign office and attest it from them as well. So then you go to the embassy, fill the form is really easy to fill. Like you can fill it in half an hour. It's not very lengthy, just 2 or 3 pages with quite few blanks. After that, there is so okay, so they will be asking for about like so they will be asking about the your ticket or something for like your travel documents. Just simply go to the website of a air company, like you go to the PIA, or you go to the Thai airline or Qatar Airways or whatever. Go there, just book a ticket and print it out, and then cancel it or whatever you want to do with that. If you want to buy it, if it's cheap, you buy it, or if you want to wait till you get the visa, that's on you. So you don't need to pay the money for booking. So just simply go to the document to the travel document. You can get it by simple booking. You don't need to pay any money. Third thing they need is your academic document, your application form, your travel document. Then the last thing they need is your admission letter from this university, your professor scholarship letter, and your professor your dormitory or whatever, however he arranged your living over here. So he will give you a contract or something for that. So like they will know that you have a proper place to live over here and you can live here. So these are all documents. You give it to the embassy. They require a picture or so, and then within a week or within 3 days or within 5 days you get the visa, and then you can fly here. So now it's time for questions, or should I summarize it? There's something wrong with the video, are you sure? Okay, so here we go, a quick summary. There are two ways to get into any country: self-finance bid. The other is you apply for a scholarship and you get a financial support from the university or the professor or the government. So self-finance based, it's really expensive here in Korea. Like you have to pay $20,000 minimum per semester to get here in Korea on self-finance beds. There are few exemptions, like few government university, they charge a little, like they charge $3 million, like $3,000. Yeah, $3,000. But their ranking are not good, or there's something wrong with that. So a few universities, they can you can get in cheap admission fees. But yeah, so you go to their website. If you are applying on self-finance basis, if you are eligible and you go to the website, they will guide you they will assist you in the admission process, and you will get the visa documents and all the things, and it's really easy. So I'm not going to discuss it in detail. The other is, like, you apply for the assistantship or the ed or professorship or government scholarship, and they give you money or stipend, living allowance and everything for your stay in Korea. There are two ways. One is KGSP, that is government scholarship. The other is professorship or independent scholarship. You apply to you get here into a research project as a research fellow. So KGSP is really simple. You apply through your embassy, or you apply through a university directly. 16 to 17 seats for Pakistani. There, like the quota for Pakistani people, it's 16 to 17 seats annually. It may vary. Like if there are less application from the other country, they shift it to they shift the seats from that country to another one. So KGSP, you can apply through the respective embassy, or you apply through a university, they shortlist you and they recommend you to the government that we need these students from this country. So the other way is professorship. You write email to a professor, you choose your professor, you choose your university, you write email to them, you attach your documents, and you get selected by the professor. After that the professor guides you for the application process, the admission process in the university, and it takes hardly 3 months. The whole process takes hardly 3 months. Then after that you go apply for the visa. If you get secure admission in the university, you apply for the visa, you get the visa, and you fly to the country. So the second part of this talk was about the professorship or the assistantship, professor assistantship or fellowship. It is the same for all the countries. If whether you are applying to China, you are applying to America or the UK, Europe, Australia, wherever you are applying, you follow the same track. If you are applying, KGSP track is very specific for Korea. For US, it's like Fulbright. All the different countries are having different government scholarships, so you follow them respectively. If you guys are having any question, so I will take a few of them, and then after that I'll be saying bye. Questions, guys? So are you guys, hopefully, is there any question? Guys, hurry up. So, okay, I think there are no questions, so I will leave my profile link in a comment. You can follow me, or you can write to me. If the question is genuine, I'll be asking them, otherwise I'll ignore them. So because I don't have a lot of time to respond to the questions individually, so it's better be nice. So hopefully you've enjoyed this live session, you learned from it, and it's time to say bye. Okay,